Welcome back. Police are on the hunt for at least 6 men responsible for 3 separate armed robberies between Wednesday afternoon and early Thursday morning. The first reported incident, according to police, occurred sometime around 2 p.m. Wednesday. A male was about to make a deposit at a bank in western New Providence when he was approached by 2 masked males who exited a white Honda CR-V Jeep. One of the males produced a handgun and robbed the victim of his deposit bag, which contained an undisclosed amount of cash. The culprits then returned to their vehicle, making good their escape in a westerly direction. Several hours later, sometime around 11:25 p.m., a male was at an intersection of Marshall Road and Blue Hill Road when a gray Japanese vehicle pulled across his vehicle. 2 males, both wearing dark clothing and armed with handguns, exited that vehicle and robbed the victim of his silver Nissan Note, license plate number AS5774, along with his wallet, which contained an undisclosed amount of cash and other personal items. Meanwhile, around 12:10 this morning, a male was in the area of Yamacraw Hill Road when he was approached and subsequently robbed of his white Nissan Note license plate AE1172. AE1172. He was robbed by 2 males, one allegedly armed with a handgun. Police are aggressively investigating these incidents and are appealing to members of the public who may have any information about this incident or any other criminal matter to contact the police at 911-919, or you can contact them anonymously at Crime Stoppers. That's 328-TIPS, 328-8477. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Mario Bole confirming that all suspensions of any athletes have been lifted and punishments for any infractions will be levied another way. This on the heels of social media reports earlier this week which alleged that Bahamian collegiate sprint star Terrence Jones Jr. out of Grand Bahama had been suspended as a result of his misconduct at the recent NACAC Under-18 and Under-23 championships in Costa Rica, which were held July 21st to the 23rd.
Well, I spoke to the president this morning. I think they had a meeting with his executives and came to the conclusion that they would find other means of ways to levy any punishment to the athletes for any breach that was made. And so all suspension has been lifted, and all athletes is, from my understanding, is free to partake in any event that is upcoming.
That was Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Mario Bole. Meanwhile, the B3A Executive Board announced Wednesday night that all suspensions as it relates to Bahamian athletes and that all matters of misconduct have been dealt with internally, with possible sanctions to follow. This will allow Jones and possibly other athletes to compete for the Bahamas at the IAAF World Track and Field Championships in Hungary later this month. In the meantime, members of the local sports media are accusing the Track and Field Federation of trying to cover up a number of violations by both athletes and members of the B3A that took place during the trip to Costa Rica. The Federation is being pressed for answers and further details. Mario Bole, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, expressed honor and joy on behalf of the government and people of the Bahamas on announcing the Bahamas will host the IAAF World Athletic Relays, Bahamas 2024. He made the announcement at a press conference on Wednesday at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium, where they launched the relays. Mike Sands, president of NACAC and World Athletic Relays local representatives, announced the Bahamas would host the event for a 4th time in 2024. Scheduled May 4th to the 5th. Athletes from 32 countries are expected to participate as the event will be a lead-up to the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. The event will feature 5 disciplines, including the men and women's 4x1, the men and women's 4x4, and the mixed relays. The top 14 teams in each event at the IAAF World Relays, they will be automatically qualified, punching their ticket to the Paris Olympic Games. Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Mario Bole said it is a privilege to see the World Athletic Relays back in the Bahamas on our shores. And finally, as the body of late Dr. Lloyd Smith, former president of the Bahamas National Baptist Missionary and Educational Convention, lie in repose at the William H. Auditorium, leaders from the religious and political arena gathered this morning to sign the book of condolences and express their sentiments. Among those was Prime Minister Philip Davis, who described Dr. Smith as an excellent builder.
He, in his whole life, was a builder. Not builders of bricks and mortars, but he also built lives through contribution, through encouraging people, by mentoring, and he was an excellent builder. and his skill as a builder in construction manifested itself in his skills and how he built lives, how he touched lives. And so it was an honor for him to be the leader of the Baptist community. He's continuing to build in that space. And it was a sudden passing. And look how he passed during the course of a service of one of his colleagues, and just in church practically. And so that speaks to him. And so I just wish the family well.
New president of the Bahamas National Baptist Missionary and Educational Convention, Reverend Philip McPhee, says his predecessor will be remembered as one who played a critical role in building the Baptist community across the country.
Dr. Smith has been a tremendous builder in terms of his contribution to the Bahamas, first of all. I'm talking about buildings. God lifted him up from the dungeons of nothing and placed him in a position to become a builder of lives. Blessed him with skills to bring about positive changes within this country through his preaching and through his leadership skills. He has been a man who has devoted himself to helping people. He was a kind-hearted person who loved people and did his best to help. Dr. Smith was also a man who made harsh decisions.
Dr. Smith will be laid to rest in a state-recognized funeral at Mount Horeb Baptist Church, Sandyport, Friday at 11 a.m. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. Thanks so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.